metaphysical, paranormal. You know, all those things you've been wondering about. Are you ready to go deeper into the realms of the unknown? I hope you've got your walking shoes on, because life is an adventure, and this is the journey. Come on, let's go. Hello and welcome to the show, everyone. It's Wednesday night, and this is the Journey Radio Show. Hey, we're the She-Squatchers, and of course, we're come to talk all about Bigfoot. So I'm Jen Cruz, your host, and I've got Jenna Grover, my trusty teammate, on the line. Hi, Jenna.
Well, hello, hello, hello.
Hey, and Tammy couldn't be with us tonight. She unfortunately had something very sad happen today, and she wasn't able to come with us tonight. So she says hello to everyone, and of course, we're going to miss her, of course. So everybody send good vibes to Tammy. She needs them. So we've got an absolutely fabulous guest tonight. We met this awesome guy when we were down in Tennessee. His name is Lloyd Davis. Hey, Lloyd, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. How y'all doing?
Very good. Very good. We're so excited you could
Yes.
join us tonight, and just want to tell everybody that you were part of the crew of putting on the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Festival, or Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Conference
Conference,
down
yes.
in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. And we had a fantastic time down there. So hopefully everybody will check that out next year if they have the opportunity. But there's other events that you guys put on too. Which ones are those now coming up?
Well, we have a Brew Fest coming up in a couple weeks. We also have the Great Florida Bigfoot Conference coming up in January. And then we'll kick off with our Bacon Festival, our Beard and Stash Festival, moving into the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Festival Conference. So we got a lot of good things coming up. Nikki and Martin are awesome to help out with. They're great people. I absolutely love them. They're more family than they are, workers, that I work with.
Oh, we really enjoyed them. They treated us well, and you all did. You were just awesome for us when we were down there. So thank you so much.
Oh,
But
thank you for the kind words.
yeah. So now I'm looking at you and I'm thinking Beard Festival. Are you gonna quick grow one for that or?
No, Miracle Grow don't work.
Oh,
Miracle Grow. Yeah, you've got a very small, short little beard. It
Yeah,
would take you quite a while.
quite a while.
yes, yes. So, as far as that goes, so you're not into the beards, but you're doing the Beard Festival. But I know that you do the Bigfoot conferences and you are into Bigfoot. How
Absolutely.
how in the world did you get interested in Bigfoot? When and how did that happen?
At an early age, my uncle in West Virginia had something that crossed a fence during the snow, came to his front porch, was eating scraps that they had put out for dogs, and they actually traced this thing back all up into the mountains. Heard about this story the whole time I was younger, but in 2009, in the winter of 2009, in Henderson, Kentucky, in the river bottoms, I had hung my truck up. I was out where I shouldn't have been when the snow came in, hung my truck up. So I'm walking out to my truck carrying kitty litter and a shovel, going to dig my truck out when I caught something in my peripheral vision to my left side. It was very brief, but the gait of it was strange, like a person who was handicapped on one side. And I relayed this information to a person that I had met that was into Bigfoot in the area, and he contacted another organization who came out and talked to me. And when I got to the point of how it walked, you could just see the disbelief come across this individual's face. And that got me on my own journey, because I was set out to prove that I cannot be the only person that's ever encountered one of these creatures that had a strange gait to it. And a few years ago, a gentleman in Michigan was doing a YouTube talk, and he said it was walking like someone who was handicapped on one side of their body. I felt so vindicated. But that started this journey in 2009 that's led me to like 7 states, multiple people to talk to over the last 12 years. got me involved with these conferences with Nikki. It's just been a wonderful ride. Very strange at times, but a wonderful ride.
Wow, that's fantastic. And I know that you said you go camping like an insane amount of times. How many nights out of the year do you go camping?
We have like 250 days in nights. Sometimes we only do a day trip. Sometimes we do up until 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Here recently, before it got real hot, we actually spent, and this is, 10 days straight of going to regular jobs, coming home, and going out until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And just repeating this every night because we was having so much activity that could not be explained.
Yeah.
And not just the Bigfoot phenomenon. We were having lights show up in the woods that couldn't be explained. That through these conferences, meeting people and talking to them, this is going on in Florida. It's going on in Michigan. You know, the same thing with these green lights appearing. So that's another good plus about being in with these conferences. You get to meet the people that can make you feel like you're not going nuts.
Definitely.
You know.
Absolutely. And so the lights that you're seeing, are they always green?
No, not always. That was just a couple occasions. We see a lot of just white lights appearing out of nowhere. You know, they'll appear, and Gemini, the gentleman who was with me at the Bigfoot conference, helps me. He's also my vice president of the American Sasquatch. We had lights one day that were going floating through the woods while we were out Bigfooting, and there's 4 of us that see this. It's floating through the woods, almost like a lantern being carried. And when Jim mentioned, look at that light turned and started coming straight towards us. Yeah, and I have a laser on my sidearm, and I had my laser on it. The laser went through this light into the tree behind it. So it's just strange, stuff that we can't explain. You know, not only the rocks being thrown at you, or a tree later, like you walk down a path on your way back, there's a tree laid across. This happened to 2 of my researchers. They were out one night. They went to a spot on their way back. There was 2 trees laid across the road, exactly, I think it was 24 foot apart, exactly. 2 trees laid across the road. Humans ain't out there 2, 3 o'clock in the morning doing this stuff. So it seems like the more you get into this research, this rabbit hole gets bigger and bigger and deeper on you.
It does. It does definitely happen for us too. We've experienced some of the lights and things like that as well. So when you experience the lights, are there bodies of water nearby at all? Any rivers, creeks, or lakes?
Yes, there is. We do have a river in one of our areas.
Okay.
That actually winds through the area.
Okay. So, I'm part Native American, and at our tribe, those lights, I know that they come out of the water up there, and they call them water spirits.
Oh, wow.
So, but they come up, they're usually in the water, but they can fly out of the water and through the air and stuff like that. But I think the green ones can also be associated a lot with trees, but I've seen them in the water.
Well, the night that we had this green thing, it was probably about 6 to 7 foot long. It reminded me how I described it to my team, a railroad tie. I was at my vehicle. We communicate with radios when we're out.
Yep.
And I had a radio in my car, and they had handheld radio. And they were out, and I told them, get back up here now. My car had shook. And when I come out of my car, I didn't see nothing. I looked all around, then all of a sudden, off to my peripheral vision, here comes this green light. And I'm looking straight at this thing. It looks like a railroad tie with green lights all the way around it, but they weren't glowing. They weren't shining on anything. They weren't giving off any type of light except on itself. Does that make sense? It's just like it's just there. It's not shining on the leaves behind it or nothing. And it floated down, made a 90-degree turn. I took one picture, tried to find it again on my phone. It was gone. Totally gone. And it reminded me of a floating railroad tie. I shared this at the Bigfoot conference with a couple people outside. the night after our VIP dinner, and they saw the same thing down at what I think they call it the Green Swamp down in Florida. They had seen the same exact thing. So again, that's the benefits of being able to come to these conferences and stuff. And I encourage everyone, if you're seeing things and you're unsure, come to these conferences, talk to people. You're not alone. Other people are experiencing these strange events happening. It's just not a group of us, and we all can't be nuts.
Exactly. Up in Minnesota where we do a lot of our research, on one of the reservations, there was an area where there was quite a few sightings happening. And when we talked to the locals there, in particularly, there was one native woman who told us that they have a saying there that when the green lights appear, Bigfoot is near. She says, because you start seeing the lights and pretty soon then you see the Bigfoot.
Well, I can't say that we've seen the Bigfoot. I can honestly say that we've seen something cross a trail in front of us at the very far end of our beam of a white flashlight that we were going to the night that the 2 trees were put in the pathway. Mike and Linda had called me at home, and I went straight over to meet with them to go down and see what this was. And at the end of my beam, we seen something cross a path. And one night, going to this one research area, something was in the middle of the road when I came around a real sharp curve, and I seen the back of it off the road up a hill. That week, I ordered LED headlights for my car and changed out my headlights because I want to be able to see better,
Definitely. And how long did it take you to get like a spotlight? Do you have a spotlight for your vehicle?
No, but I do have one. I just ordered one. I just got it in the mail. It's 420-watt LED bar that we mounted in front of my car.
Beauteous.
Yeah.
How exciting. It's like toys. Aren't they fun?
Well, yeah, but it's like our group. We had a bear the other night. You all are friends of mine on Facebook. I made that post about we had a bear the other night encounter. So we had a meeting last night to change how we do our things in our group. We no longer set up right next. If we do a lot of sets where we just set in a group, and we'll do the 12, 3, 6, and 9 when we set up like that. So everybody's watching everybody else's over their back. And we used to sit right next to the woods. Yeah, we've changed that now to where we're a little bit further away from the woods when we do this setup because this bear was within, 10 feet of us. And it was pitch black at night, Jim and I by ourselves with no lights on.
And those are black bears, right?
Yeah, black bears.
So
good.
Are they more aggressive down there? I know in Minnesota they're not too bad. Primarily, especially on the reservations, because they hang out at the garbage dumps. They're used to people bringing the goodies.
No, they're very docile. Problem is the bears where this area is, it's new for bears to be in. They've been there for a while, but yet now they're starting to reproduce, and you're having more and more bears come in this little area. So you don't take no chances.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where you encounter something, you got to change things around a little bit, just to keep everybody safe.
Mm-hmm.
We're very much on safety.
Absolutely. We do have a question in the chat room here. Sailing Cat is wondering about fires. Right now, there's fires going on in northern Minnesota. I know Two Harbors, up by Duluth, Two Harbors was evacuated because the fires were coming. But she's wondering, what do fires what do they do with Bigfoot sightings or activity prior to that?
In both of my areas, we have teams in Tennessee and Kentucky. We have not had that issue yet with fires we have to worry about in Kentucky. Now, you remember 2016, we had the Gatlinburg fires. Devastated Gatlinburg and the back part of Pigeon Forge. I actually did an interview with a lady last year at a place called Monster Mash Burgers in Sevierville. Which if you've never ate there, ladies, you'll have to come there. It's awesome. But anyway, I met with a lady there who that immediately after the fires in Gatlinburg, she started having activity on her property. And it was over by the Townsend area. And she started having all kind of activity to where she had housework done. When she left the property, this thing became aggressive towards one of the workers who was at the lake. Almost like it tried to protect her. You know, it was trying to protect her and her property. You know, it was growling from the other side of the lake, making strange howls, even threw rocks across the lake at this individual.
Wow.
So, yes, I believe that it displaces them, because this is a good instance of one being displaced, or more than one being displaced to this lady's property, and they've taken up residence there. She says she doesn't fear them. She feels they're there to, you know, protect her, but still, she won't do a whole lot of things outside of nighttime no more.
Is she?
Can't
You
blame
said
her.
she's single?
I'm sorry?
Did you say she's a single gal?
Yes, yes.
Oh, well, you know what? God darn it. I bet she does feel a little bit safer with Bigfoot out there. You know, I mean, especially if she feels like they're not going to be harmful. Because as an older person, you're starting, especially people out there alone, you know, if you lose your spouse or even get a divorce, you're alone, and that's hard and that's scary enough. But add on being out in the woods or near the woods, it's like, ooh, so yeah, good for her.
Yeah.
Go girl. I'm glad they help you. I had to say that out there.
Absolutely. Yeah. I had actually talked to her yesterday to make sure I could use her story if it came up in any way today. So she's a wonderful person to talk to.
Well, tell her hello from us, because she sounds like an amazing person.
I will tell her.
Good.
Oh, and while we were talking about other people, I wanted to say hello to your niece.
Oh,
Hello? Hello, Kensley.
Hey, Kinsley.
She will love that.
Hopefully we'll get to meet her.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Well, maybe we'll be at an event that she gets to come to someday.
Yes, that'd be sweet.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. So I think we got to talk to her on a video call when we were in Tennessee.
Yes, there at the dinner. Yes, we did. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. That was cute.
That made her day. She loves that kind of stuff.
Oh,
Yes.
she's such a cutie pie.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Well, we love talking with the kids, that's for sure. And we love kids who love Bigfoot, of course.
Yes. Yeah, they were watching the other night. They were at my sister's house, and they were all watching reruns of Finding Bigfoot. So I had sent
Aw.
pictures of Bobo and Cliff and I together to show them. And then I showed them the picture that we all took together. And they were all like, oh, wow, cool.
Oh, that I bet you that's neat for them to know that you know those people.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We got to meet them before too. And you know, they're regular folks just like we are. They are.
Yeah.
They love Bigfoot. So we all have something in common.
Well, you got to be good people if you love Bigfoot.
That's right. That's right. Hopefully, anyway.
Yes, most definitely.
Well, we do this for a hobby. I'm not as committed to do 250 days or nights out in the woods per year. That's really committed. I commend you for that. But this is our hobby.
Well, we have two researchers, Mike and Linda. They go out almost every single night, and they just go for a walk. And they'll walk, 2.5, 3 miles a night. And, they experience all kind of strange things. Of course, it doesn't happen every night. And it may not happen for a couple of weeks while they're out. But it seems like then all of a sudden, everything happens in a couple of weeks on them, And so it's kind of interesting, the things that's out there that people really don't get out and experience. I love listening to the owls at night. I think they're so neat. I wish more people would get out and enjoy the woods.
Yeah.
Definitely. And the stars. I mean, I used to love to sit. I'd actually lay on top of a picnic table down at the lakes, and I would stare up at the stars. I don't know why I was so consumed with them, but I just used to stare. They were so beautiful. And now we can't even see them, because of all of our lights. And it's too bad. That's why it's so nice to get out. That's what I was going to say. That's why it's so nice to get out and away from town. And
well, come down to Cades Cove in the Smokies, and you'll see all the pretty lights you want to, because there's no street lights out there at all.
Wow, that surprises me.
Yeah, it's a protected area of the park. It's the last actual town that the park had purchased. And when the last person left, it was completely over to the park. But there's no street lights out there. There's no artificial light.
Oh, wow. That
So
would be
it's
awesome.
beautiful at nighttime. You can do a walk at night, but now you gotta also be concerned with the black bears there and the cats. So you gotta be concerned. There's big cats out there too.
Oh, yes.
I'm a little scared of the big cats. That scares me. Bears I could deal with, but cats, eh. Yeah, yeah. Sherry's in the chat room and she's asking, what is the best way to attract Bigfoot?
Wow. We have found that going out and sitting somewhere and just being yourself, just have a couple people with you, have a normal conversation, keep it down low, but just have a normal conversation. Let the curiosity that they have come to you. We have found that works better than going out here trying to stomp through the woods, beating on trees, screaming and yelling. It's just the natural curiosity. And so we do a lot of the go out and sit down. Of course, we're all 50 plus in our group. So it's easier for us to go out and sit sometimes. But yeah, that's what we have found works the best. Is just going out and sitting and having a conversation.
Isn't that funny how sometimes, doing the simplest of things can have such great rewards and great results, such simple things. And I agree with you as far as what you're saying about, just being normal in yourself. That's showing your intent of not harming, and just enjoying and very good. I'm very excited.
Something else that we try to do when we're sitting in groups, like I said, we try to sit the 12, the 3, the 6, and the 9, but we try not to point. If you hear noise, we try to refrain from pointing. We try to refrain from everybody looking that direction. Don't let it know that you've heard it.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it may be, and hopefully just by keeping up your normal, you can bring it even closer to where you might be able to get a visual or get more of a proof positive. We've had the wet dog, horse barn smell so many times doing this just by setting, and you hear something way off, and then all of a sudden, you start getting that real strong smell. And we've had the chatter. We were one night and it was like the Sierra sounds, the chatter. It was like right there behind us, and we were all like, whoa, look, and that night we did point, and when we pointed, it was gone. It quit. Yeah, we had one of my guys has a parabolic mic that he built, and Sean built this thing himself, and he turned the mic towards the sound, and the moment he did that, it just stops on us. So I'm a firm believer that our body movements they're really in tune with how we're turning and what we're doing. As much as we are trying to figure out what they're doing, they're trying to figure out what we're doing too. And it makes sense that you got people out there carry. 90% of my team carries a live weapon at all times, but they're not. You don't turn a point of weapon at everything that moves. And I believe over the course of time, they have had enough weapons drawn on them that type of movement is what they're looking for. So we've tried to eliminate all the sudden moves and stuff like that. But it's hard. Sometimes you're sitting there and you hear something right behind you, and you want to point. But we've learned that the best way to do it, to answer the question, is just be yourself and try to avoid any unnecessary movements yourself.
So just to clarify for everybody else out there, you're carrying the weapon for the other dangerous animals in the woods, right?
The humans in the woods. That's the
Those
other
are the dangerous animals.
That's the ones you got to worry about.
Yeah.
This is point blank. We live in a very evil world.
That can be true. That can be true. A lot of times people are asking us if we're carrying weapons, and we don't. And their biggest concern is that we would run into some bad people.
Well, I actually carry a very unique weapon. It's made by Berna, and it shoots pepper and mace balls.
Oh.
So You could use it on a bear. You could use it on a cat or on a human, and you're going to stop all three of them.
Gotcha.
Where'd you get that now?
It's a place called Byrna, Byrna, and they're an awesome company. But yeah, it's shoots a pepper and mace ball, and that's what I carry out in the woods.
See, that would make me feel more comfortable if we were ever to bring anything out. That would be something I would feel would be okay.
Yes, and it's going to, classic example, the other night with the bear. I actually shot, not at it because we actually couldn't see it. It's in the tall grass, but I shot at a tree behind it to disperse the pepper in the air, and then we no longer had a bear threat. But we still left the area. But I'd done that to let us leave the area without being charged, because if it was so close and huffing at us, it was upset. You know, and I would rather do a non-lethal thing to anything, be it man or beast, instead of having to take something's life. I'm a deer hunter. I do that for food, but anything else, if I don't eat it, I'm not going to kill it.
That's the way to be.
Yeah. A classic example of the reason why we do carry weapons, we're talking about the evil people. We had a person, we're about 2.5 miles off the main road, main paved road, on a very curvy, pothole-filled gravel road that takes you down to this one spot that we go to. We actually had a vehicle at 2 o'clock in the morning come down this road with only parking lights on. It went past, once it saw our vehicles, it sped past our vehicles, spun around in the field, and left with no lights on. So, yeah, there's a reason why there are live weapons in our group.
That's understandable. Very much so.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Anybody's listening to us right now, if they want to get out there, don't be scared to go out. Just be aware of your surroundings at all times. Don't get so focused that you're not paying attention to what's going on around you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then you could always stumble upon those partying kids.
Partying kids are funny when you stumble up on them.
Yes, they are.
But I want to share another little encounter. This is one that Nikki had referred to me. It was a lady who sent Nikki multiple messages, want somebody to come down and talk to her. I went down and talked to her. It's down in Newport, Tennessee. I went over and talked to her, and a lot of good information. She was having some aggressiveness going on. But, this is in the same area in Newport where they've had the two individuals killed. Prior to our conference, there was two individuals killed like a month apart that they can't figure out why they were killed. They both were outside and attacked by something. And according to law enforcement, DNA tests have come back not being canine, so that rules out your dogs, your wolves, your coyotes. Not being felines, that rules out your mountain lion attacks, bobcats, no bear. It came out not being a bear. They have no idea what the DNA is. But it's in the same area where I had just went down and interviewed someone. So that's kind of strange, isn't it?
That is strange.
Have you talked to anybody else about it? Did you talk?
Well, there are people looking into it, different angles of it. Okay. But when you talk to someone and say, well, have you thought about the angle of Bigfoot? That Mr. Peanut pops up on top of your shoulder and they start laughing.
Yes. Yes.
I hear you.
I have not pictured Mr. Peanut in my head forever. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, we're coming up on our break here, so we'll probably just head to break for a couple minutes. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back with Lloyd Davis. Thank you, everybody. All right, so we are at break. Good job. See, it's halfway over.
Yes, and it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's just like a conversation, isn't it? It's just hanging out for an hour. That's what's so fun about it.
Yeah.
But people are watching. But you're still having fun hanging out.
Don't let it freak you out.
Y'all need to come down to the Kentucky location and hang out with us. I can't tell you where it's at, But if you're interested, I can send you a private message. But it's a lot of strange things are happening down there. I mean, with lights and strange encounters, seeing something that we thought was a stump, and as we started heading up the hill, the stump's no longer there.
Oh my goodness.
And that day I happened to wear a black shirt in the woods, and one person, Linda, had asked Jim, "What's Lloyd wearing today?" He goes, "A black shirt." She goes, "Oh, okay." Well, she had seen something black go past the tree line. Jim had also seen something black go past the tree line. And our gentleman, Sean, who was back at my vehicle on the radio talking with us, started having all kind of noises and stuff going on around him to where he thought we were down there by him. And we're several hundred yards up in the woods. So, yeah, it's strange things happen. But then we've been out there for days and nothing happened, Go out night from night, nothing happened. Then so it's a hit and miss. Y'all know, you've been out there, you know how it is. It's hit and miss. But it seems like when you start getting the good stuff, it all comes at one time.
That's just like fishing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
When the fish are biting, they're biting. When they're not, you're just sitting there.
Come on, baby.
Wondering, where are they?
That's so funny. You guys are making me laugh tonight. Oh, that's so funny.
Well, at least you don't wonder if fish exist. All right, we got to be quiet now. Let's listen for Sarge.
Go.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. This is the Journey Radio Show, and hey, we're the She-Squatchers. Won't you check us out online at She-Squatchers.com? You can click on our events page and see where we're going to be, where we've been, and where we're going. Just in a couple weeks here, I think it's like 2 or 3 weeks away. September 17th and 18th, we'll be in Marion, North Carolina at the WNC Bigfoot Festival. I heard there's going to be like 20 to 40,000 people there. That's going to be insane. I'm excited, and I hope you'll come and see us if you can. And then our October event was scheduled in Yakima Valley Bigfoot Con in Toppenish, Washington. We're still waiting to hear if that's going to happen. There's a little question mark there now because of the COVID numbers. So we're going to have to keep you posted on that. We're really hoping we can be there because we really need our YouTube channel competition to stop. And it's only going to stop when we get to Washington. So let's put in some good prayers for that. Otherwise, won't you please come to our YouTube channel and subscribe to our channel and help us win the race? Of course, we want to win as far ahead as we can. So please, please, please come subscribe to our YouTube channel at She-Squatchers Official. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram. So please like and follow us there as well for the most up-to-date what's happening with us. So tonight we've got Lloyd Davis with us, and he is telling us about his adventures looking for Bigfoot and his experiences and what his ideas and beliefs are. And he's got his little puppy with us too, which is awesome.
Say hi. She says no.
No, she's not saying hi. Well, before we were on the air, she said hi to us, so that was pretty awesome. So yeah. So Lloyd, we're excited to hear all the stories that you bring to us tonight.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Don't have a whole lot of personal experience. I've interviewed several people. Been able to meet, a lot of people through Bigfoot. It's really miraculous how many people out there across 2 states, have had such great experiences that you're going, man, I wish I could have these experiences. It'd be awesome to be sitting in your house and have one banging on the side of your trailer, or trying to turn your doorknob.
Yeah,
we
awesome.
say that as we are looking and searching for Bigfoot, but it may be different. You know how the grass is greener on the other side. We're thinking it may be a little bit different. I mean, it's got to be a scary actual event when you're hearing somebody trying. Because in my mind, if I heard somebody trying to get in the house, I would think human being. Oh, grab the gun, grab a knife. I'm gonna kill it. But if had I known that it would have been a Bigfoot, it would be like, what do you do? I mean, what do you do?
Yeah. And the question hasn't been asked tonight, but A lot of people say, well, why can't you get good pictures? Well, think about you're walking down the street and you see a wreck getting ready to happen. Do you have time to react with your phone and take the picture? You know, it usually happens so fast. I know the brief encounters that I've had were so fast you wouldn't have had a chance to grab a phone, you know, or your mind's telling you, no, you didn't see what you just saw. Or like I was sharing with you a few minutes ago, the tree stump. You know, two of us was watching this thing for a couple minutes. It didn't move. So yeah, it's a tree stump. You know, it's happened before. We've been in the woods, be like, hey, look, 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 look. Oh, it's a tree stump. You know, had we known it was going to get up and move, yeah, we might have took pictures. But, you know, your mind don't process stuff like that. The night that I was telling you about the green light floating, you know, I had probably about 3 minutes there before I even took the picture because I'm going, this ain't real, you know. So I know people get so upset with us when we say, well, we didn't get a picture. We didn't get a picture. You don't have time to sometimes, you know, just think logically. You don't have time to pull that phone out all the time and get a picture. Especially mine, if you got a lock on your phone, first you got to unlock, you know.
I know those gold darn locks, but Jen has a secret to that. She's got a phone where she just goes click, click, and the camera just pops up.
It
You
does.
know,
It
I
goes
forget,
click,
Jen,
click, and it's on.
my finger
think,
and unlock my phone. I forget that all the time.
Me too. I don't know why I forget it. It's like, why?
Yeah.
So easy to remember.
Mine, I just hit the side button twice really fast and it goes immediately into camera mode and I'm ready to take a picture.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, at our first conference, Nikki actually had someone to run across the stage dressed as Bigfoot, and not a single person in the audience got a picture. It was a good learning and a good learning technique, you know. For
Definitely.
Where's the pictures at? Because Bigfoot ran across in front of all of you, and not one person got a picture.
You know, that's a very good example.
Yeah. And I like to give Nikki and Emma a shout out. They are awesome people, guys. You know, a lot of people don't understand that her and Martin put all this stuff together. And then when it comes time to set it up, it's Nikki, Martin, myself, Jim, and Alicia. That's putting all this stuff on for, you know, that's helping Martin and Nikki put this stuff together. They're awesome people to help out. They really care about us, you know, as much as we care about them. And they love what they do. I think that's one reason why they have such awesome shows. So just want to give them a little shout out because they've been awesome.
That is awesome. And we definitely enjoyed the event down there in Gatlinburg. So, and we highly recommend that everybody check that out anytime they can. So,
We also got the Bigfoot one now. So we started Bigfoot in July. We started the Bigfoot one. It'll be January for the regular show for it. So
nice.
So either place, come and visit.
Yes. So the one in January is in Florida?
Florida, Lakeland, Florida. And don't hold me to it. I think it's like the 22nd, somewhere along in that area.
I want to go to Florida in January.
Me too.
You know, we're up here in the Midwest where it gets 50 below zero without the wind chill sometimes.
And what is the temperature in Florida during the time you're thinking about having it?
75.
Oh, it's nice. I like it. Yes, please. I'd like to go there. Push the yes button.
Yeah, we have to tag Nikki.
There you go. Get us out of here. All right.
As long as you want. You let us
Save the She-Squatchers. Bring them to Florida, right?
Wouldn't that be terrible of us to say, save the She-Squatchers, put us in events in warm places in January and February. Well, I guess now it is. Oh! Hopefully we'll get somebody to bite.
Take pity on us. That's for sure. We'll bring our Fargo, yeah, you betcha accents down there.
For me.
Huh?
That would be nice. That'd be fun.
Yes, absolutely. Sherry is in the chat room and she said it's hard to get a picture of deer photos close up too. So
yes,
she's relating to that. So
yeah,
and they'll actually stand still for you.
Yes,
They will.
they taste good.
Oh no.
Yes.
He's
Actually, they
thinking
do. I
case.
grew up on that. I grew
Well,
up
we
on
talked
that.
about this the other day. My cousin and I were that one. I've killed deer before in Henderson with my sister, and I'll be out in her backyard cleaning them. And as I cut the tenderloin out, she's inside cleaning it, putting it in the crock pot, starting to cook. I mean, yeah,
Wow. You guys
she
are like
makes the best tenderloin.
Johnny on the spot. Boy, take it out, cook it.
Yes.
That's how you
Wow.
do it.
That is fresh. That is very fresh.
I grew up on a small farm in Minnesota where we grew, raised, and hunted everything that we ate, except for flour, yeast, and of course chocolate chips, because that's a necessity. Right?
Well, yeah, I understand. Understand.
I even learned how to make gum with wheat.
Gum with wheat. Wow.
My father was a farmer. He was a wheat farmer and a beet farmer, and I too chewed the wheat gum. I don't know. It takes a lot of chewing, but once you get enough wheat in your mouth, it finally works. And as a kid, it's like, oh, met. No bubbles for me. Jen, did you get it to bubble?
I don't remember it bubbling. It definitely didn't taste like bubble gum or
No.
double
But
mint gum, but
it was good though. It had that fresh land taste,
wheat.
you know,
It
wheat.
tasted like wheat.
What?
Imagine that.
I think I've had too much Dayquil.
I think so too. Jenna's got a little cold going on over there. So yeah. So please, Lloyd, please tell us more of your Bigfoot stories that you've heard or interviewed people about or
Well, I've explained to you about the aggressive one. This same lady down in Tennessee, who has the Bigfoot on her property. Now, she did have one night, she has a big Great Dane. And she heard this Great Dane yelping, and this Great Dane was actually thrown across her driveway. And she sent me the photo, and you can see a clear handprint about twice the size of my hand where it picked this Great Dane up and threw it. So, and I believe what happened was the Great Dane maybe went after it, saw something, went after it, got too close. So that's more the fire stories, where stuff has moved in. Oh, wow. There's just so many stories. I'm trying to figure out some good ones here.
Well,
in Henderson, they're at the river bottoms. We was actually out, myself, two of my friends. We're squatching one night, and he's the one that first showed me. Don was the first one that showed me how to sit in chairs to do it and not try to knock on trees and stuff, how to sit in chairs and just talk. So we're sitting there talking, and we had something that actually paralleled us all the way around us, went around us, through a cornfield, through a bean field, just far enough where you couldn't see it. And that was just such an awesome experience. That was the first experience I had of anything like that coming around me. So that was a really, really interesting night. More stories about the places that were out here. Well, give you one down in the Smokies. We were over by Townsend, close to Cades Cove area. There was 3 of us in the woods one night, and we had this god-awful smell. Just all of a sudden came up on us. It brings the fear of God in your body, that type of smell, like, oh, what is this? And we had rock, probably, a pound rock come out of the creek and landed within feet of us. That was pretty wild. We were at the waterfall over in right outside of Cookeville, Tennessee. I can't think of the name of the park. I'm sorry, I can't think of the park off the top of my head. But we were there, and we had a similar situation to where we had something growl at us, and it wasn't a bear, and it sent chills up my arms. The same place, I had pictures where something had broke down a pine tree. It looked like the back part of its heel, as it lifted something else up off the lower part, like 2 ledges that was probably about 4 foot separating it. You got to see where something large had bent down. It had a good toe indication. It was on a hillside. You could not do a cast printer. I couldn't. I have not mastered that, how to make something to cast on a hillside. But as in visuals, I had the one like I spiked on the curve in the car, one walk, and the one in the wintertime. Haven't had a lot of visual stuff myself. Had rocks thrown after we've come back to our cars one night. We had been out for several hours, walked about 2.5 miles out, sat for a while. We came back. Nothing had happened. Very dull night. We were sitting in a parking lot. It's a dark parking lot, and had a rock through at two of us and landed right over by us. So just little things like that as went on. And can you say it was Bigfoot? I won't say Bigfoot did it until I can bring him with me and show you he did it. And I think that's where a lot of people lose credibility, is when every little sound they hear, they say it's Bigfoot. It's Bigfoot. We had two of our researchers that caught a great sound on their phone, and Jim had sent it off, got it analyzed, came back as being an owl. But if you listen to it, you was like, never heard an owl make this noise before. But Ken Gerhardt analyzed it for us and come back saying it's an owl. Well, once he said what type of owl it was and we looked that up, yeah, we got the sound. So, but we will not sit there and tell someone it's definitely Sasquatch or Bigfoot, however you want to call it.
Ken is a nice guy. I didn't know he did that.
Yeah, he's awesome. Ken is awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, he really is. He's very nice, down to earth, very personable. I was really impressed.
Yeah. Well, another one down to earth, and you wouldn't think by seeing his appearance that he's such a easygoing person. That's Lyle Blackburn. He's awesome.
Right?
Yes.
He is just a good old country boy through and through.
That's true.
Yeah.
We've been fortunate enough to meet both those guys and a bunch of others too. And that's one of the perks of getting to do conferences and stuff, is getting to meet everybody else and getting to know them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I had the pleasure last year of traveling from Gatlinburg to Nashville with Bobo in the car.
Oh yeah.
And that was probably the best 2.5 hours I've ever spent talking with someone.
Oh,
so
that's awesome.
Informative, so informative. And he's very down to earth.
And when was that?
Last year, or 2 years ago at the conference, I brought him from Gatlinburg over to Nashville. So about 2.5 hours, we went and had lunch together, and it was just an awesome trip.
Very cool. Yeah, he's neat.
Yeah.
I hope he's doing okay. I heard he wasn't well for a little bit there.
Well, he sent me a message today wishing me good luck tonight, so.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Bobo is one of my favorites.
If you're watching, Bobo, hello.
Hi, Bobo.
I think
he was my favorite on that show.
Mine too.
Mine
too, Jen.
I did tell him that in person, but don't tell anybody else. It's just between us.
Us three, yeah.
Yeah.
You did tell him.
I did tell him.
What did he say?
I think because he was talking about Matt, Moneymaker, and that other girl who had been with us that one time, who was all about Matt Moneymaker. So
yeah,
he was going on about that, and I said, well, it doesn't matter. You were always my favorite. you were my favorite. So.
I think he was everybody's favorite. He just has that thing about him. He's got this personality. He's just got this easygoing, approachable attitude. I just think he's awesome.
Well, Bobo's the same if you see him on TV, or you're meeting him at a conference, or you're having, a green room conference with him, or if you're at the hotel talking to him, or if you're having dinner, he's the same person everywhere he's at. He doesn't change for what group he's with. He's just the same person.
Right. Yeah, that's what I love about him too. And he'll just sit and talk with you about whatever experiences that you have to share, and he'll look at your stuff. He looked at some footprints that we found in a gravel pit, and he was like, "Wow." He says, "That's a really steep hill. That had to be a squatch. That couldn't have been a bear or a person."
Yeah.
So, which is what we thought too. So, it was nice to get his opinion on that.
And that's one thing else about these conferences. If you have stuff like that, I can bring it to you all or somebody else and get another opinion.
Yeah.
'Cause that's all we're offering anyways, opinions,
Yeah.
But, it's always nice to have someone else kind of confirm what you're thinking.
Absolutely. And that we recently saw Cliff Brackman in Michigan at the conference there, and uh, it's no secret that Bobo was my favorite. We like Cliff too. But I think Cliff would agree that Bobo was his favorite too.
Well, I can't say what it is because my niece is going to see this before her birthday, but Cliff has sent her a very, very special gift for her birthday. After her birthday, I'll share with you all what it is, but it's awesome.
That is awesome.
It really impressed me for what he did.
Wow, you guys are making me wonder what you're going to get me next year for my birthday.
A trip to Hawaii.
A trip to Hawaii?
She
I like that.
take that.
I would take
With
that in a
Jen.
heartbeat.
Kayak.
Yes. I would kayak. I would kayak in a heartbeat. I have.
Trip-
So yeah, I would totally do it.
Trip to Hawaii with your life partner, Jen.
I misspoke.
She had misspoke one time, and somebody asked if we were married, and she's like, no, she's she said no, she's my life partner, but that's not what she meant, because
I meant like day partner, and then Jason's like my night partner, my my She-Squatcher partner, and then there's my away from She's. But yeah, it came out quite
has her
wrong.
honey
Try to
bunny at
cover it up
home.
now.
I'm not the honey bunny.
To everyone who heard that, I'm so sorry. It was completely an honest mistake. I'm so sorry.
It was funny though. It was very funny. And for the Hawaii trip, I'm absolutely her life partner. You have to take me. I will play the part. Let's go to Hawaii. I'm ready. Okay. I've never been to Hawaii. I would love to go there. Do you think there's Bigfoots over there?
Well, according to Finding Bigfoot, there's not. They spoke about that on one of their episodes.
Oh yeah, the only place that they didn't think that it would be is Hawaii, because there's not a vast amount of
Forest.
yes, forest. Yeah.
I still think we should check it out.
I just doggone it. Check it out for ourselves.
Yeah, we'll have to go make sure.
Remember at the conference we was talking about having the He-Squatchers. Jim and I be the He-Squatch. So see, we all need to go to Hawaii to look.
Yes.
It could be our duo episode.
And we can all just sit out in lawn chairs and be quiet.
On the beach.
On the beach and see if we see anything. Oh, Lord, that'd be fun.
That would be fun. But in all seriousness, though, seriously, what are you sending me for my birthday? I'm just teasing.
Oh,
I didn't expect that one.
No.
In all seriousness, I thought, oh no, seriously, we better be quiet and listen. No, I like it. I can't believe how time just flies. It's almost the end of the show.
I know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Right?
We'll have to do this again sometime.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We still have a little bit of time. How many minutes do we have, Jen?
We have less than 5, so like 4 minutes to go. And in that time, I want you to tell people how they can find you online in the group that you have there.
Okay, we're the American Sasquatch Research. We do have a public Facebook page. It does contain some of our contact information. If you love us to come out, if you're in Tennessee, Kentucky, or West Virginia, we do have some people in West Virginia now who have come on board with us. So if you're in those 3 states and you've got some activity you'd like to have it checked out, hey, shoot us a message on American Sasquatch Research and we'll get right to you.
That sounds fantastic.
And if you're coming to the Bigfoot Conference next July, check out the Gillette Motel. It's right across the street from the conference center. They are awesome people. It's family owned by the original people who built the hotel. Still own it. Still local people run it. Just want to give them a plug while I was online.
There
I
you
love
go.
mom and pop shops. Yay for you. Keep going. Stay strong.
Keep it in the family.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, the story I told you about the lady who had the Bigfoot on her property from the fires, I did not know this until staying there. Her son-in-law is one of the co-owners of Gillette Motel. And I had interviewed his mother-in-law over a year prior to meeting him at the hotel during the conference.
What a small world.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a pretty awesome. Because he was like, well, listen to this howl. And when I listened to the howl, I said, wait there, I've got that. Yeah.
Well, that's really neat. And I bet you can recognize a howl too.
The howl that she had was so unique. I'm telling you, she must have walked over to it and said, here, howl in my phone. I mean, that's how loud and clear it is. Yeah, but she said she was out at the pond, and it's on the other side of the pond making this howl. So that's how loud and clear it is.
Sounds will carry right over the water like that on a clear night. Definitely. It'll sound so close. I can hear people on the other side of the lake sometimes on a clear night like that, especially if there's a little wind coming from that way.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. The sound will carry on that wind for sure. So, yeah.
Ladies, this has been awesome. It was a treat meeting you all down in the Smoky Mountains. Our VIP dinner that night, I think, was awesome. I loved taking pictures for you all. How did the video come out that I recorded for y'all?
Good. I'm still going through all that. Well, I'm still going through our expedition stuff first. I'm trying to get through all that. And then I've got to pick out some other stuff to send to our producer. So yeah, it's still a work in progress, but thank you for doing all that for us, Lloyd.
Oh,
We really appreciated all your help there.
No problem.
Yeah.
It's all part of putting these shows on is helping our speakers, you know?
And when we did our presentation, you were the honorary She-Squatchers at our booth.
Yes. Yes. Jim and I looked so well in your booth.
You did. If you could have just slapped on some wigs, you guys would have been perfect.
Yes.
I don't think.
I'm kidding. It would have taken a shirt too.
Yeah. And makeup and, a little curb appeal.
There you go. Curb appeal. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Lloyd, for coming on the show tonight. We'll have to have you come back another time and with some more stories. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in tonight. We'll see you next week. We're going to have Josh and Todd Parsons with us next week to talk about the Michigan expedition that we did in the Upper Peninsula. So we'll see you next week, and stay tuned, everybody. We'll be back next week. Good night.
Night, everybody.
Night.